In sunny Fort Lauderdale, Florida, lies the undisputed mecca of Polynesian restaurants, the world-famous Mai Kai. The Mai Kai has been showcasing the Polynesian culture for over 50 years. It has everything from the mystical Molokai bar to an enchanted garden to a live dinner show featuring authentic Hawaiian dancing.
Podcasting from somewhere in Central Florida.
Where is the bloody rum?
I see you tried knifey spoony before.
Let's drink some rum.
Rum is the power, rum is the key, rum is the thing that will set us free. Rum,
And nerdy.
rum, ahoy! Rum,
And nerdy.
Sit back, relax, remember to turn off your cell phones. For the next hour, let me be your Candy Crush.
Hey everybody, welcome to Rum and Nerdy. I'm Greg.
And I'm Garrett.
And today, I like to the talk right when that stops. I love that. Today we have episode 4.33.
Fried rice.
Yeah. And not just fried rice.
It's a cauldron of fried rice.
A cauldron of fried rice.
Accidentally ordered a bucket.
It was no accident. It was a conscious decision. We talked about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
How many liters was that?
Well, it was like a quart is like this much money, and if you wanted the next size up was 2.5 times what a quart was, and usually you get so it's probably like 3 or 4 quarts. It's like a half of a convention warmer tray.
It should have come with a little sterno.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the only thing was missing from being ready to feed a welcome to the conference.
So who else is here, Greg?
I don't know, some guy with a beard,
Douchebag.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. It's
Captain Malort himself.
Captain Malort. Tahiti Tommy. What is it?
How dare you?
How dare I? I just know him as Tom. Tom. Hi.
Hi.
So I think we did we say last week? Did we say that we were going to be doing that this week?
I don't think we did.
Because sometimes shit happens and we didn't want to get anybody's hopes up. We toured an updated tour of the Mai Kai bar in Fort Lauderdale today, and it was really fucking cool.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't get a reaction out of you the entire tour.
That's not true.
You were like, cool. It's cool. And I was like, he must be saving it for the podcast.
I was I was overwhelmed.
Saving.
I was in overload.
Good save.
All the sensory,
Good save.
the data that was hitting my medulla oblongata.
I mean, the last time you were there, it was considerably more
Cluttered?
destroyed.
Yeah. Although the outside is fucking destroyed.
So the last time we were there, it would have been episode 2.31 from December 6th, 2022.
Almost 2 years ago.
That's the last time I was there.
That means
Yeah.
I've been there.
You've been there a long
Way
time.
too long.
I'm blown away by the changes.
Okay.
I
Just get into it. Let's go.
Okay, so we came in through the back door, but you
giggity.
My favorite. Sorry.
phrasing. Are we not doing phrasing?
No, we're doing phrasing.
Yeah. So you immediately rushed us up to the front. We went out to the porte cochere, where the
Sorry, my wife is shaking daiquiris right now.
Yeah.
So you hear the...
that's wonderful.
That's okay.
It's a good noise. It's a good
Yeah.
noise.
We're on Team Daiquiri.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So you usher us out to the front, porte cochere, which is all done now. I mean, last time was pretty beat up. Actually, when you were there, the convention building across the parking lot was still there.
Oh
last
my
time I
gosh.
was there, it wasn't.
That's
You
how
were,
long ago it was, yeah.
You were pre-Bora Bora demolition.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what? Tell us about the fiberglass panels that were up on the top.
Oh, yeah,
'Cause that was an interesting detail I didn't know about. And
So what's fun about the fiberglass panels is those are actually, not a lot of people knew that those were there. They were put in probably original building, maybe not. Maybe it might have been sometime in the 60s or so. But they were definitely, by the time they did the 70 renovation. They were fiberglass panels that were pre-lit from the back. Or, sorry, not pre-lit. They were just lit up from the back. And they were hand-painted. And
right over the main entrance. It's got
right over the main entrance.
The beautiful patterns and, yeah.
So it was also before acrylic panels existed. So they made them out of fiberglass. And they were so filthy and dirty and faded and sun-bleached, even though they're not in the sun, just weathered. and the lights had long since been extinguished.
These are probably the old giant
Thank you.
T12 fluorescent, just massive old lights.
So we pulled them down, and we found those old lights behind them, and we cleaned them up, pulled them apart, refiberglassed them.
Hey, real fast. Let's
Yes.
do a non sequitur. We were just served a drink. Let's hear. What is it that you just made?
Ladies and gentlemen, my beautiful wife,
Yes.
Welcome back to the show.
Kerry, a.k.a. Miss Vivian Tempest.
Nick, and you'd been on the show when we did the recording at the Ho Ho Home bar tour.
Yeah. So I just made Dr. Bird daiquiri, which is one of my favorites personally. So you have 2 ounces of Dr. Bird, 3/4 ounce lime, 1/2 ounce simple, and then you do like a splash of the Tempest Fugit banana, which just sets off the banana flavor in the Dr. Bird, and it's really yummy.
I can smell
And this
banana
is
from over here.
this is regular Dr. Bird, right?
Correct.
Okay, because there is a banana or
There's
pineapple.
a pineapple. Yeah. I like this one better than the pineapple.
Smell the Dr. Bird too. Oh God,
That
that's
is tasty.
fucking
Yay,
fantastic.
I'm glad you like it.
Thank you.
Thank you
As
very
magical
much.
as always, my love.
You're welcome, dear.
Okay, so continue. You're the backlit panel. Thank you.
Thank you, babe. So yeah, it is it's a backlit panel of that had been out for decades and decades. Even Kern, who is the general manager of the place, who was on the last time we did the podcast,
Yep.
at the Mai Kai, he goes, I don't think I've ever seen those lit up.
Yeah.
I didn't know they lit up. He'd noticed the panels, but he didn't
Well, you
notice
said
that
they were the back were completely sealed.
Yeah, so the building always had roof leaks, so they had spray foamed the back doors where you could change the light bulbs out. And
Just, hey, the light bulbs are burned out.
yeah,
Throw some foam in there, whatever.
yeah, and they haven't lit up in anybody's recent recollection. So we took them down and pulled them apart and re-fiberglassed them back together, like really cleaned them up, and then Scott Shidley, a.k.a. Flounder, if you have a tiki mug that says Flounder, it's that guy. We took them down and completely repainted them, rebuilt them, and they relit them, opened the doors back up.
The general contractor did all the replacing the fixtures and wiring and all that.
No, what's the proper answer for that? Yes.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you had to integrate it all, right? So, but they did it all to code.
No, it's all done to code for sure.
Yeah.
It's all replaced like for like. We changed the light bulbs. How's that?
Yeah.
Okay,
We changed the light bulbs.
so everything worked.
Everything
Some
worked
nice
wonderfully.
energy efficient LED, yeah.
And you turn them on and they light up and it's beautiful.
Yeah, but it's really awesome though, because there are elements of that facility that just weren't working or nobody knew they were working, and then like the beams.
Yeah, so we took down the old beams. Or we actually reskinned them, repainted them, did a faux wood grain on them, and
These are in the Porte-Cochere
Yeah.
classic
Yeah.
drive up. Yeah,
so there's I looked at the original blueprints for them, and there was this like light rail that went along them that had a rope light in it, or had LED fixture, or no, it wasn't LED. It's probably fluorescent fixtures.
Back then it was probably gaslight.
they would light the wick. But yeah, we replaced those, put those back in, whole new paint job. on
Trough
the
of
thing.
like rail oil.
So there's some elements of this place that are going to be lit up for the first time like they were originally,
Yes.
and it's no one's seen it like that.
I mean, on top of all the lamps, I mean, we've rebuilt over 250 lamps now, and brought them all back to their original
the
former
light
glory.
fixtures inside the
Inside the
the
building.
hanging lights.
What was cool about those too is we found the original blueprints and a lot of the original pictures of those lights, and restored them back to like their original former glory, which was cool because they had been covered up in sometime in like the 80s or the 90s with like burlap, and just somebody had like hot glued rope to it to kind of emulate the original patterns that didn't quite work. And we went in and pulled off the burlap and actually found like original tapa kind of like shredded underneath. So we kind of knew what they looked like pre-burlapping. We call them the burlap specials. And we went in and rebuilt them back to their like original glory.
They look really good. I mean, you have a whole little workshop set up just for light fixture restoration.
Yeah. And yeah, it's our little crazy
And
place.
2+ years later, you're still doing them. There's some really cool stuff in there. Like
My personal favorite, the thing that I was disappointed we didn't have last time, the shrunken head.
Yes.
oh yeah, and there was like a whole story. Like we collectively, you did not know where they were, but they showed up.
Yeah, I knew that a lot of the artifacts had been taken and put into a air-conditioned warehouse, and I had poked my head in there probably about a year and a half ago, but I couldn't put eyes on it.
No.
Yeah.
But it was also like buried. You know, it was like a 10 by 10. It wasn't that big, but it was full of stuff.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find them. You know, just
Yeah.
doing a quick glance.
By the way, there's a person somewhere in this room. Want to find him?
Yeah. What?
The shrunken head.
Oh, yeah.
That's a real head. Like
Oh,
that's
yeah,
not
oh,
like,
yeah,
that-
yeah,
That's
yeah.
not like a fake head. Like that's a.
Actually, there are.
I'm sorry. There's human remains in
there
the
are-
storage locker.
That was a guy named Brian.
There are.
That's some Breaking Bad level shit right there.
There
man.
are 4 human remains. There are 4 people that live in the Mai Kai
Yeah. So the other skulls.
full time.
I didn't know this was a thing.
Yeah. So apparently, there are these other 2 skulls. There's one skull in there that's just kind of like a normal skull. It's broken. You know, it's in pieces. And there's 2 other heads in these glass cases, and they're coated in mud or like a clay, and they have hair on them, and they're very like decoratively painted. And I always just kind of thought they were like some sort of a ceremonial
You walk
fake head.
You walk past it. It looks like something a child would have assembled in art class with
Yeah.
paper mache.
Yeah,
Where you're like,
and-
oh, okay, that's cute. A head.
And I'd always noticed those, and somebody like called them shrunken skulls once. I'm like, it's not even a real thing.
Yeah.
And you know, everybody's fixated on the fact that there's an actual shrunken head hanging in there, which is cool. But when we got the box that had the shrunken head in it, we flipped over. We grabbed one of the skull or one of the other heads that are in there,
Yeah.
the clay heads, and we flipped it over in our hand, and there's molars.
You're like, oh,
There's a jawbone and there's molars on the thing.
like there's a real head.
To which I then quickly like, okay, I'm not going to touch that anymore. I'm going to let Scott touch that because that thing.
Because he drew the short straw and
Well, he doesn't bother him. It freaks me the hell out. So,
Yeah.
so Scott took it upon
That prop had kids.
that props.
had
prop-
a mother.
That
yeah.
prop still probably has ancestors that are alive today.
Yeah, it's
like
like-
someone's great grandmother is hanging out at the Mai Kai.
Yeah. That prop had credit card debt and a mortgage.
Yeah.
Drove a Volkswagen.
It's kind of like the Pirates of the Caribbean, how they always talked about there was an actual skeleton in Pirates, and everybody kind of like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. The Mai Kai has that,
Yeah.
like legitimate.
Yeah.
It's it's great. It's crazy.
Well, so-
it's cool. It's awesome. I mean, it's a tiki bar, and that's the best.
So these things, it was like an actual ceremonial thing or a tradition where
Yeah.
they would take the skulls and
So apparently, what we've been told is that if you were a upstanding or dignified member of your family, like a matriarch or patriarch,
not us.
they would take your head and make it like a ceremonial thing that they would put on a altar and pay homage to, as opposed to like if you're captured and conquered, they skin your face and shrink it down and pack it full of horsehair and make a shrunken head.
When I die, I want my family to take my head and turn it into a candy dish that they can serve Halloween candy out of.
No,
That was Grandpa Garrick.
I have a friend of mine in San Diego. He has a bar called the Headhunter, and it's his backyard bar. It's gorgeous, and he has the top cap of a skull that's done in like with the brass and like it's beautiful. It's a ceremonial like cup that you
And
drink out of.
You drink out of.
Part of his skull. It's a part
And
of
it's
a real
real.
skull.
It's 100% real.
And he drinks out of it.
And it's a rite of passage at his house to do Kalima shots.
What's in a Kalima?
It's whatever Doc Parks comes up with. But you have to be shirtless.
Yep.
And you have to Kalima. You have to sip out of the cup and then hold it up and Kalima. And it's amazing. But
Does anybody rip your heart out? While it's
Oh,
still beating
I was
and it
waiting for
catches on
somebody to.
fire? Yeah.
But yeah,
I brought you 3 stones as an offering. Can I do the shot?
Mamam shaba, mamam shaba, mamam shaba, mamam shaba.
There's like 3 people that are understanding these jokes. And,
Hey, this is rum and nerdy.
and
Come on.
We love all of you.
This is rum and nerdy. You got to stay up with your Indiana Jones
Right.
folklore.
So anyway, moral of that story, I'm really happy that we got the shrunken heads back because
I am too, because I was worried because I had heard that when they found them. So basically, what happened with the Mai Kai after the roof collapsed, it sat without air conditioning for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So with all the roof leaks that it always already had, and no air conditioning to really keep the place dry, a lot of the things in there started to like mold and deteriorate. And when they found the
saying it's not the best conditions to maintain human remains.
Jesus Christ.
basically. So when they went in to start taking a lot of the artifacts out to preserve them, it might not have been a full year. It might have been sooner than that. But it looked like a chia pet.
Oh.
So apparently, like mold and fungi started to like leech onto this poor little guy.
And I gotta imagine that's not something that you can just take into your average taxidermy shop and have them punch it up a little bit.
There's some oil you can rub on this for us, please.
Hey, I noticed that you service jackalopes. I have a human skull.
Pop it in the air fryer for like, a minute and a half, and all that stuff
It's
flakes right off.
fine. It's fine. You just gotta cook the mold off.
Yeah.
I gotta check my Black & Decker booklet and if they have a preset for it.
You have a shrunken head preset on the Ninja
Yeah.
Foodie.
Ninja shrunken head rehydrator.
It brings it back to full normal size. Oh, it's Bill.
No wonder we haven't seen him in a couple of years.
So what's cool, though, is when we did find it and we found out that actually it was in good shape. It has a little hole in its nose, but other than that, it's pretty good.
To be fair, we all have little holes in our nose.
It's true.
Yeah.
And depending on what you did in the 90s, some of us have bigger holes in our noses. Sorry. Allegedly. I'm just kidding.
Allegedly. Why is it that you know what cocaine smells like?
I don't like cocaine. I just like the way it smells.
Just one
Jeez.
giant disco coke nostril.
Yeah. Nyborg.
But yeah, I was really happy. And then luckily what we had too in our favor is somebody had gone through the Mai Kai about 10 years ago and done a complete Google Map walkthrough.
Oh, nice.
Of every room. And
Wow.
so you can go on Google Maps to this day, search Mai Kai, go to the 360 videos, and find walkthrough. And you can click on any one of the 360 videos and hit the little white arrow and walk through the entire building.
So, like, what artifact is in what room and
exactly where it was.
Oh, that's
so, when we got it, it was in rough shape and everything had been stripped off the wall. Sometimes, like when you take a hammer off your grandfather's pegboard in the garage, like there's the
silhouette.
outline.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of that where we're like, oh, that must have been a paddle, or that was a
I remember the first time I came down in the main bar, that little step up main bar area.
Yeah.
That up high, you could see silhouettes of shit that weren't on
It's
the
like
wall.
quite clearly people were smoking in this establishment for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of that. And then a lot of scenic. I mean, there's been like painters that have come in and glazed things and painted things. But there's always like the remnants of whatever that artifact was. But regardless of that, where things go, a lot of the placement of things will go revert back to Google Maps. And Scott found, that exact shot, zoomed in and found the exact placement of everything in this little window. And
That's cool.
Sounds like Scott does most of the hard shit.
except come on this podcast. He's going to sit on the couch and
He's belligerently watching the Chiefs game.
laugh in the background. Look, Scott, we have another set of headphones.
Can't be bothered. That's okay.
Did he say he showered?
He said he's shy.
Oh,
Shy.
yeah, he's shy. No, he's not.
That's fine.
Yeah.
The
It's nice that we can get like the echoey commentary from him from across the room. It's going to sound great. I love it.
he's like the
this is it's a
he's
nice
like the old man in the Muppets that chimes in from the back.
Statler and Waldorf.
Yes.
Wasn't half bad.
Wasn't half good.
It was all bad.
Who wants to tell these idiots that they forgot to hit record? It's recording.
I had to check.
I know, because it's never happened before. Shut up.
Never at all.
Moving on. Hot dog.
Hot dog. It's something that I know we talked about it last time, but you were very proud of this, and I thought it was awesome because you had the last time we spoke about it, you genuinely questioned how you were going to do it, and then you figured it out. The mirrors in the women's bathroom.
Oh yeah.
That was actually a really cool one. So if you went into the women's bathroom, they have these they're like 3-inch mirror tiles that are antiqued with like the variegated gold leafing, kind of like spider webbing on them. They're 1/8 inch thick, and they're 3 inches square. And they are all over the women's bathroom. It's like a Bangladesh kind of
walls,
like, Bangkok. It's a Bangkok room.
Yeah.
And just beautiful trim. Everything in there is custom, made out of molds, made for the room.
Leisure Suit Larry's bedroom ceiling, kind of.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of them that when they replaced the roof, they would come in with like pickaxes to like take out the old roof. And there was a lot of like repairs that they had done because there was a big valley above that room. And they would fill it with foam and like tar and horsehair or whatever the hell they were doing to repair those rooms. Seriously.
All the things that
There's
meet
some crazy
ADA
shit.
fire code. Or ASTM fire code.
It was the 70s. It was a crazy time.
I call it the Winchester House of Tiki. And if anybody's from California...
I understand that reference.
So many people don't. And I'm like,
That's
it's a California thing.
That's effing hilarious.
Yeah, it was always just kind of added onto and added onto and added onto because if you stopped adding onto it, you'd turn into a shrunken head, or something. But the second that they built it, they had roof leaks.
Yeah,
but they'd never closed.
Well, I mean, it doesn't help that it was built at like 1,200 square foot and just they kept adding onto it, so it wasn't one original roof. It's like 15 roof additions
cobbled together.
Well, what's funny is the Molokai
by the
bar.
lowest bidder.
The Molokai bar is the original portico share.
Yeah.
So when you would drive in, it was a V-shaped thing along the sidewalk, and then they decided like let's turn this into our bar and make a new outdoor drive up. So that was a V shape that didn't have a proper drain.
Yeah.
So it just collected water and leaked, and but they never closed. They just came up with like quick fixes to try to fix the problems.
Like spraying foam inside your light boxes.
Yeah, like that. So, anyways, back to the mirrors. A lot of them were damaged. A lot of them were like poked through by the spikes from the roof. Mm-hmm. A lot of the panels were kind of hanging above like one whole row of the toilets. That whole roof was falling down. Yeah, and a lot of the trim was broken. A lot of the relief, like the relief carvings, were broken. And I remember walking to that room originally going like, there's no way in hell we can fix this.
Yeah.
It was a big job. So we brought in a guy that actually can make molds, because, I mean, I can do those things, but I have a lot of other things to do. So I just need to like delegate mold making to somebody that understands what needs to be done.
Sure.
Yeah. So the mirrors was a big problem. Like I figured out how to repair everything else. We can make new molds. We can use new products. Instead of using plaster with horsehair in it, we can like come up with a foam that makes it a lot easier. But the mirrors was the problem. And I had searched everywhere, and I had found that you can get like 1/4-inch thick mirror with a printed gold leaf, but it wasn't an actual gold leaf. Like from the backside, it was printed on the surface.
Just
Didn't look right.
Not the same effect.
Did not look right, and I could not do like for like. I couldn't put it next to another one.
Absolutely.
So about nine.
It wasn't just the ceiling. There was a lot of little patches that, like just a missing tile or two here or there that had to be addressed.
And I couldn't put that next to the other stuff.
Yeah.
So about 9 months later, Kern finds a eBay listing that is somebody selling 5 boxes of 20 mirror tiles per box that were 12 by 12. And they were 1/8-inch thick, antique, variegated mirror tiles.
Yeah.
In the original 1960s boxes. The problem was they were in Palmdale, California, and there was no shipping. So it was pickup only. Mm-hmm. So I went on Facebook. I'm from California. So I went on Facebook. I'm like, do I know anybody that lives in Palmdale, California?
Where is Palmdale?
It's just outside of Los Angeles, inland. It's
All of California is just outside of Los Angeles.
Las Vegas is just outside of.
So it's a little bit northeast. Maybe it's just straight east from the San Fernando Valley. It's where Lockheed moved. It's where it's where Boeing is. It's all these
It's
big.
like out like Chino, Inland Empire. or
No,
further?
that's more south. This is more just like Simi Valley, Magic Mountain.
Yeah.
It's out in that direction.
Yeah.
So I went online. I'm like, do I know anybody that lives in Palmdale? And one of my high school friends was like, I live in Palmdale. And I was like, do you live near this address? She's like, I'm right down the street.
Nice.
Can you do me a huge favor? She's like, well, actually, you got me tickets to Universal a long time ago. Do you remember when I went to Florida and I was like, can you give me Universal tickets? And you like totally hooked me up in my family. I was like,
No.
Yes,
no.
yes,
yes.
I clearly remember.
Yes,
you owe me big
you know
for that.
You're welcome.
Now that I remember it.
You know how many times we've all done that? Like, can you give me tickets?
So I apparently got her tickets, and she was, checking, like I was on like the Get Tom Back list.
No.
And she was like, absolutely, I'll do that for you. Like, you totally helped me out. Cool. So she went and picked him up. She boxed him up. She packed him really nice. And then we got a courier to do cross country. Like, you can kind of like put in the package bid, and people will bid on it that are doing big drives.
Because that's not something you don't just throw in the mail and be like,
Yeah.
welcome to Fort Lauderdale. Good luck.
Yeah. So we had this like crazy guy that had this whole long journey, and he showed up with like a whole bunch of stories about his journey of like bringing us these mirror tiles.
You know that guy drove Route 66 the whole way.
Probably. Yeah. You can't trust them highways. So
Precious cargo.
So he brought us the mirror tiles, and then we put a guy in the bathroom with a glass cutter for 3 days, and I think we ended up with like 1,200 or something. 3,000.
3,000.
3,000 mirror tiles.
Are there spares?
Yeah. Oh my God. He was also like putting one up on the ceiling and trying to glue it in, and it fell and hit him on the nose. Oh! And like cut him right across the bridge of his nose. Like, yeah. So 3,000 of the tiles. What was beautiful about that is it gave us the opportunity to repair everything that had been damaged, but also restore parts of the ceiling that it hadn't had mirror tiles on them in decades.
Like you knew it was supposed to be there. You knew there was an empty thing. It just
it called for it. I'm like, there had to have been one there.
Yeah.
And I was like, Kern, was there a mirror on this ceiling? He's like, oh, I don't remember.
I don't remember the vestibule of the women's restroom. No, I don't.
Yeah.
Now that you mention it, no idea.
So it's completely restored back to its original former glory. It's stunning. Actually, one of my favorite photos of my wife is doing her makeup in one of those mirrors before our wedding.
Because you got married there.
I got married there. Good time.
Wow.
Did you have fun?
One of his favorite photos of you is in the bathroom of a tiki bar.
Surprise.
So you're coming up on how many years now? Have you been married?
It was February 2020.
So over 4 years.
Okay, so yeah. So this next one.
Welcome to marriage. World's closed.
And you might be open.
Hope
by
you
your
like
fifth.
each other.
It was a good litmus test for like, did we make the right decision? Should we be married?
All of a sudden, he's home with me every day for how long? God, I don't even
like
know.
9 months. Could
Maybe
have had a
more
baby.
than that. No.
I've said we could have.
I don't know. Thanks. But yeah, I mean, I was working, but I mean, we didn't do a whole lot like while we were gone. So it was, we're together all the time for however long you were home.
It was awesome. And actually, what we didn't know is that we would now spend the rest of forever not together.
Not being together.
It's like
2.5 years later.
That's
Mai
right, 'cause
Kai's
Working.
got so many special memories and also like just a nagging.
It brought us together and tore us apart.
I'm assuming that you are secretly building yourself a little apartment bunker thing somewhere in that bar.
So Scott and I legitimately have talked about. So up where those windows are, there's like a little apartment.
You did mention you used the word apartment.
We call it because we call it the apartment, and we were joking like it would be fun to do the apartment up there.
Just put like a cot. And
So like you can go have like way too many jet pilots, and then like make your way upstairs and
it's
like
a really good idea. But you need to theme it like Star Trek or something completely off-brand.
No. No.
What's on the other side of this porthole? You open it up and you're like, oh, shit, it's...
What's the magic word? No.
For those at home, he just whipped out the Live Long and Prosper Spock hands. And
With
the Nanu.
With the Nanu. Yes.
Makes it special. Yeah. No. That's the
That's the
shocker.
No, because I didn't Robin Williams do a hand thing too? I thought he did one. Maybe I'm going crazy.
He might have.
So did he.
You know what? I think the thumb was up.
Maybe.
So
yeah.
in the Spock thing, the thumb's out. I think in Nanu it was
because
this.
I thought he did a hand thing.
Yeah. Nano.
Right.
I cannot confirm nor deny.
I'm say I'm not nerdy enough. I think you.
You are nerdy enough, though.
You're nerdy enough, just not as
You're nerdy.
general nerdiness.
I mean, she will nerd us all out on Broadway musicals more than we could ever try.
No.
What?
I can
What?
hold my own on some. I was a theater.
You do not go up against her.
I'm saying I can hold my own. I didn't say I could beat
One,
her.
I think that would be a really amazing challenge to hear. Two, not in this goddamn granite, echoey
Yeah, probably
Hall
not
of
great.
Mirrors room we're recording in.
Probably not great.
Yes, I mean, or it would actually sound really good. Very echoey. Where were we? Oh, we were talking about apartments.
Yeah.
So it was either making an apartment up above the entrance, or we were talking about doing like a Swiss Family Robinson style treehouse in one of those
that would
banyan
be
trees.
Cool. That would be cool.
Like even just doing like a forced perspective, like miniature version of one up in those banyan trees.
That'd be cool as hell. Because those trees are gorgeous.
They are gorgeous. But can you imagine like having just some style of like a treehouse up there and then having a speaker up there that's like playing ukulele? Like there's somebody up there like either snoring at night or playing ukulele.
That would be cool. Or a whole little family of shrunken heads.
They have one of those at Diagon Alley.
Yeah.
And they sing.
Show me the way to go home.
Boom, boom.
I'm tired and I gotta go to bed.
Thank you, Jaws.
Need some Narragansett.
So how do you know much about that project, Nick? I'm just gonna move on. Never mind. Don't answer that. Move on.
So what was one of? I mean, those were some of the big takeaways that I had from today's tour. What are some of your big accomplishments? I know, like you had the ships that you were all restrung. Like your dad came down for a little bit. And
Yeah.
helped
So
with that.
before Hukilau, which is a big tiki convention that happens in South Florida. We had a big push because we were going to do a tour.
Mm-hmm.
So it was for the VIP members of the Hukilau. We did about 12 to 15 people per tour, but it was a tour bus would pull up, and then everybody would come walk up, and then myself, Kern, Jim Hayward, and Scott would do a little kind of guided tour around like the main loop. Mm-hmm. So start in the Molokai bar, go to the main stage area with all the lights, go into the new service bar, circle around through the kitchen, go through the 2 employee locker rooms, and then out through the bathrooms, the handicap bathroom, gift shop, and then out. And we really wanted to make a good tour for everybody. So we cleaned up everything. It's kind of like when you have guests coming over and you kind of like shove everything in the closet.
It's like that, but it's a construction zone.
Yeah, we did that with construction stuff.
And as a slob / pack rat, I fully appreciate that reference.
Yeah, don't go into Samoa. You know, it's still full of stuff. But my parents were coming down to kind of help out on that. My mom was like, when we get to getting close to open or doing the tours, I really want to come help clean. And between the guys that we have working there and my parents, my mom went into like super clean mode, wiping everything down. Like we turned that Molokai, or we turned that bar or that whole restaurant from being like a construction site to you can go have a poo-poo platter in there.
Yeah.
In the course of about a week and a half.
And it's not just construction site. It was demo zone, condemned building / construction site. I mean, even the clean stuff that didn't have debris on it was still
it was
rough.
Like Scott has photos of us wiping down the bamboo right by our workshop, and it was like completely gray, dirty, and then coming in with like the wet rag and wiping it, and then like stopping in the middle, and just the comparison between the two.
Wow.
Like it gave us, what was beautiful about it is it really gave all of us like an invigorating push that we needed.
Yeah.
Because we had just been kind of like living like, we're never going to make it out of this. We can't keep doing this. And then to start cleaning the place and like, oh my God, the Mai Kai's still here.
Yeah.
You know, like the building that we all love and adore that we've, been trudging through every day. It's still underneath all this.
It's more than a construction site. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And now you're in the final push. A lot of work happening outside, the fountains, the asphalt, the new bar, the outside bar.
Yeah, we completely re-envisioned the entire exterior. We tore down the Bora Bora building, which was an old condemned gift shop. Moving the driveway, bringing in themed concrete. It's really going to be like we're kind of theme parking it up in a tasteful way, not in like a Disney, enchanted tiki room with singing birds, but
no. I mean, theme parking it meaning you're doing it in a sustainable manner, because there's something that you can do, like, hey, I'm going to turn my backyard into a tiki bar. I'm just going to mound some dirt up over here or plant a thing over there, but you can't have the throughput of humans and maintain that.
Is that the sound of a cork?
No.
There's a bit of a squeal.
Oh, I tell you what.
Yeah, but I mean,
Garrick Foley's bottle openings every episode. So next time you have to open something, do it in the mic.
Oh, that's a good one. Hold on.
We have an empty bottle.
Hold
So
on.
at some point in time, we need to talk about the rum, because this is a new one.
You want to talk about the drinks and the rum before we get into the outside?
Yeah.
Well, we talked about the daiquiri.
Yes.
So there's that. This is tell us what we're drinking. The sipper that we've got.
I'm going to let Kerry talk about this because this is one of her favorite things to come out in the last couple months.
I guess I'm the rum person this episode that's going to talk about the drinks. So this is cut and dry coconut rum that Planere put out, but originally it was only available in Barbados, I think.
So I want to throw this out there. Planere, formerly Plantation, they've changed their name.
Yes.
Which I'm curious. I want to hear that story too, but go ahead. Continue on.
So I think that they do this the same way that they do their pineapple rum. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like putting the coconut in with the rum and letting it just kind of chill there and sit and all that kind of.
So when does
stuff.
the lime go in the coconut?
Yeah. It's infused. It's part of there's an infusion process.
It's part of the process, and it's so good.
And it comes off way less than, like, you think of these infused like cherry flavored vodka and this, and it doesn't taste like, hey, we put cherry syrup in this. It's like we made this with coconut while we were making the original mash. Or whatever.
It's so subtle, but it is delicious. Yeah. Like, I mean, there's even like almost chocolate notes.
Yeah.
Like it's who was it, Chris at the liquor store? Described this as...
Oh, yeah, we got totally through.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about those guys, too.
Yeah, but he described it as a glass of Almond Joy.
Yeah.
And he nailed it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so it seems like in reading the bottle, because I know with their pineapple rum, they taste a bunch of different pineapples and then decide, okay, it's ready now, like, let's go. And so I think with this, too, they're talking about their coconuts being ripe. So I'm wondering if they do kind of a similar process where they're tasting different coconut and we're like ready to go. And then they're like, all right, these are the ones we want.
Yep.
And then they're putting it in the rum, but it's so yummy. It's so good.
I just had a thought on the Almond Joy kick.
Yeah.
I wonder what orgeat would do. Would it make it mounds?
I don't know.
Well, Almond Joy is the one with the almonds in it.
Oh wait, mounds don't.
Mounds
so
don't,
this is
yeah.
so we are all.
Because sometimes
quoting
you
this
feel
wrong.
like a nut, and sometimes you don't.
So this tastes like mounds. This tastes like mounds.
It does take.
But
It does
also
taste like
keep
mounds.
in mind, I think Mounds is milk chocolate and Almond Joy is dark chocolate.
Correct.
So it's not just the almond that's the difference.
All right, I'm curious what orgeat does to this Almond Joy. Can we add some almond?
I don't think we have orgeat right
do you have
now,
any
my love.
here? No.
We don't have any here.
Yeah. No.
No.
Scott says no from the couch.
Yeah, I don't think we have any.
Well, from the internet, rumratings.com puts this at an 8.1, which is a solid rating. Lots and lots of good ratings. And then if we jump over to rumx.com, rumx puts it at a 7.5 community rating.
I like everything that is done by the distillery formerly known as Plantation.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do good stuff.
Yeah.
And they have this
everything's good.
creepy coconut scarecrow fucking dude on the bottle. Like that is.
Oh, that is a creepy coconut.
That's like a.
I love that though.
That's like a Tim Burton rum man right there.
You know what? That
That's
makes me love it even more.
I bet you if you read, there's a whole story about who that guy is.
Local legend.
And they probably based the Moana coconut people after him.
Probably. In the 16th century, seafarers became enchanted with this tropical fruit. The coconut and eye-piercing fermented. Probably.
You're the best reader.
I know. I'm just...
Equivalent to the boogeyman.
Podcasts, I guess.
Somehow at the bottom we talk about how he's equivalent to the boogeyman. It's on the bottle.
Yeah.
So he will cut and dry you out into a shrunken head and hang you.
Because it talks about how they were transfixed on the three eyes peering out of the coconut, and then as a fearsome but probably non-existent creature, it has been characterized as the equivalent of the boogeyman. So this legend was born of a half man, half coconut. So it's a creepy coconut boogeyman on the bottle.
Yeah. So back to the other though. Why did they change their name? Do you know?
I mean, I do. I know.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's the connotation that comes along with the plantation, right?
Yeah.
That's it. That's why.
So where does Planere come from?
I have no idea about that one.
Yeah.
I'm assuming a marketing group.
Yes. Well, I mean, you want to find something close, right? You don't want to stray too far, I'm sure, from the name, and then you find something that works.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was a derivative of another word or whatever. I'm kind of curious.
Or an anagram or something fun. Yeah. Legitimately, I picked this up and I'm like, Planere? Fuck, I thought this was Plantation. Oh, wait a minute. And
it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's got the
I mean, that's fairly recent. That just happened in the last 2 months, right?
They had announced it a while ago, but hadn't rolled anything out until about 2 months ago.
They were actually, from what I heard, they were going to use Cut and Dry as the pilot bottle for, the new label. Really? So they were kind of waiting to. They wanted to release their new. they wanted to release their new rum. Oh, Jungle Queen.
Oh, hi, Jungle Queen.
Oh, we missed our golden opportunity.
Oh man.
So we are recording tonight on, and like this is officially Fort Lauderdale still, right?
Yes.
This area. Okay. So at a house that Tom is staying at by part of another friend, associate. So, but it's on a waterway, right?
The amazing Jeffrey.
Jeffrey.
We all love the Jeffrey.
So, but that this waterway goes out to with the intercoastal and then out to the ocean and everything else.
It's a legit. I have a yacht in Fort Lauderdale and I live on the waterway.
Yeah.
Waterway.
Yeah. I mean, we have like 125-foot yachts that come between us.
It's
and the
crazy
neighbors.
that they fit up in here.
What's crazy is it's called the Wiggles. So this section
wiggle,
of
wiggle, wiggle, wiggle,
wiggle,
Boat.
wiggle, wiggle, wiggle everywhere. This stretch is called the Wiggles because if you look at the boat going through there, they wiggle back and forth. But it's about 50 feet across, maybe 60 feet across from like our dock to the people across the street.
We could throw shit at them if we wanted to.
Except for a bag of weed and a rock.
Because that happened.
As in we didn't make it. Or they didn't make it.
They didn't make it.
Throw me the whip, I'll throw you the idol.
Oh my God!
Nice.
So legitimately, there was the neighbors are right across the water.
Yeah.
We get gigantic yachts that come through here, and they're normally under tow. Like they'll have a tow truck or a towboat on the front and the back that kind of like steer them through this very tricky part. But we were out one day and we're all sitting on the couches out here on the dock, and there's a neighbor down a couple houses down over there on the other side, and I can smell the weed billowing across the water, and I was like, "Smells good." Like I don't smoke weed, but it was like smells good, meaning like, "Hey, I can smell you."
Yeah.
And the guy's like, "Yeah, man, it's awesome," or whatever, and like he disappears, and then 5 minutes later he comes back, and he's got something in his hand. And I'm like, oh my God, shut the hell up. Like, is this fucker gonna like try to get us weed? And he has a rock
This was New Year's, wasn't it? Wasn't
I don't even remember.
I think so.
He's got a rock and like a bag of weed, like rubber
Just-
banded to the thing.
Oh my god!
And he doesn't go across the river. He tries to throw it to us
Diagonally.
diagonally down the
Yeah.
river. And I'm like, this is not going to happen.
No.
And he's out on the bow of his sailboat that's never moved in the past 3 years. And he Nolan Ryan's back as far as he can and flings this thing. And it goes halfway across the river. Bloosh. Bloom.
I hope you didn't want that rock back.
Yeah.
And
That's my favorite rock.
we all laughed about it. And he's like, I can get you more. I'm like, I'm good.
It's cool, man. Like,
I'm good, man. This story's better.
Yeah. Do you have a drone or something?
Yeah. I can get in the car and just drive around too. Yeah.
And what's cool about it, or what's funny about it too, is apparently this section of water is like 30 feet deep. So
Holy
like
shit.
right off
Yeah,
the
that's-
dock, it drops down to like 18 to 20.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's some big ships are coming through here. So,
But what it is too is it's a wide river everywhere else, but here it's super narrow, so it's super deep.
so they need the volume to the.
So I'm like, that's gone forever.
Yes.
Nobody's getting that. It's still down there. If you need to smoke a joint, there's
There-
one
there-
30 feet at the
there's
bottom of the
some-
river.
There's some free weed just taped to a rock at the bottom of the. There it goes.
And Jimmy Hoffa.
And Jimmy.
Oh my god.
Hilarious. So, just because we're actually burning into late in the episode, we need to throw out our buddies. So you got a local liquor store,
Yeah.
and you're used to these little neighborhood local liquor stores. They're gonna have the Bacardis and everything, but holy shit, the selection in this fucking place.
It was really good.
Yeah, they've become very good friends of ours. I've learned one thing in Fort Lauderdale, that whenever we go into an establishment, for a little while, and we start like having small talk with people, and they're like, "What are you doing here?" And we talk about that we're rebuilding the Mai Kai. Like everyone kind of
going to be popular.
So they're like, "Oh, that's awesome! We love that place."
Good musical reference.
These guys have been amazing to us. They are always super cool.
And they're amazing to us. I mean,
we
got some about a month's worth of podcast experiences.
Scratch and dent special on a rum flight.
It wasn't just any rum flight. We won't go there, but when we do
it'll be recorded. Yeah.
You want to be on that one, don't you?
Oh, it better be another South Florida edition of the Rum and Nerdy podcast.
Yeah, we'll just leave it here and trust that it'll be unopened when we come back.
So
That's not smart.
yeah, no.
What do you mean?
So we haven't actually
smart.
said the name of your liquor store yet.
All right, so in South Florida, for all of your rum needs, go to Primo Liquors. There's one on Federal Highway, which is the one that's by the house here.
700 South Federal Highway, Fort Lauderdale, Florida 33331.
And now you know the
6.
general vicinity of that bag of pot at the bottom of the river. So if you're looking for like a free dime bag,
My clue is it's the same roof as a Benihana.
I should edit that out because you're gonna have people show
For
up.
real, like I would.
With our dozen of listeners, somebody's gonna show up.
In scuba gear.
For the weed.
Anyways, no, Primo, they're always awesome. Chris is one of like the most knowledgeable people. What's cool about Chris is there used to be Chris and Benny. There's another Primo that's down on Sunrise across from the mall in Fort Lauderdale. And Benny moved to that to become the general manager. Benny is the rum guy. Chris is the wine guy. And if you're a wine person, Chris is like, it's so much knowledge. It's mind numbing.
I just want to like lead that into a Luke Skywalker joke.
Oh.
I want to go to Natasha's station and not that kind of wine.
No, it's it's definitely you.
It's like shooting wild rats in my T16 Mac.
It's not
Pigs.
It's not often, but when you find one of those autistic drink connoisseurs that works at a liquor store that just knows everything about everything.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, it makes sense that he said he's a paleontologist, or what did he say he was?
Anthropologist.
Anthropologist.
Anthropology.
He's like, I was an anthropologist in college. I'm like, no wonder, you're fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Like walking through
And that's right, kids. what can you do with those kind of degrees? You go and you spend all that money and you get a degree in underwater basket.
I have a really fun caveat story that I want to tell that involves plantation rum and smart people.
Okay, because I think connecting an anthropology degree to working at a liquor store really sums up everything that college students
I mean, if you want the
need to
smartest
know.
person that you know in your favorite subject, like if there was a subject in college that was alcohol, I want the smartest guy, and this is the fucking smartest guy.
Absolutely.
But quick caveat story. So it ties in Universal, it ties in Smart, and it ties in Plantaray, plantation rum. There was a guy who was the national rep for plantation rum back in the day named Rocky. And Rocky was one of the most amazing, genius...
Not Rum Cyclopedia, Rum Tanica.
Yeah, the plantation, the female plantation girl that was at that Florida Rum Society event.
Did Adrian? Adrian Stoner?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
I think it was
Adrian is amazing.
She
Well,
was
you know how we have
beyond amazing.
like rum names. Her name was Encyclopedia Rum Tanica.
Because it was not only like, here's the rum and here's the formula for the rum, but here's the still, here's the history of that still, here's how that contraption was made, here's the modifications that we made to it, here's how it's been in operation. And you're just like, I forgot my notebook. Please slow down. I've been drinking.
So, yeah, Adrian is amazing. And Adrian's kind of like stepped into the footsteps of Rocky.
So Rocky, yeah.
Rocky passed away 2018, 2017, somewhere in there.
No, after that, though.
Was it after?
Mm-hmm.
Was it during?
It was maybe like 2019, probably.
2019? It was before COVID.
Yeah.
Rocky was in town. We met up at Aku Aku in Orlando, and then he and I went on this magical journey to Suffering Bastard, to Domu, to Tori Tori. And he had a thing where he would like order everything off the menu because he just wants to taste it all and experience life. I loved him so much. He was such a warm soul. And he invited Kerry and I to the Royal. No, what?
It was Sapphire Falls, right?
Sapphire Falls. Oh my God!
Oh,
I just lost my Universal card.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
For Strongwater?
Strongwater Tavern.
So we went to Sapphire Falls for a plantation / Sapphire Falls like food rum pairing. Mm-hmm. And it was like one of their rum pairing things, dinner things. And Rocky invited us to that. And it was magical. It was a wonderful night. We tried everything. The magical part about that whole thing was afterwards, Kerry and I went up to Strongwater at like 9:30 p.m. and just sat down and drank Stiggins with Rocky until they kicked us out at 12 or whenever they closed. And what was beautiful about it is my wife is a college graduate, history major, who spent...
I'm not a history major.
What are you?
I'm a political science major.
Political science major.
History minor, but I taught history.
Oh my God.
History minor.
Semantics.
It counts. It's
Anyways,
in the same basket.
Smarter than me. So...
A lot smarter than you.
And she taught world history, AP world history for 16 years.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Am I right on that?
No. But
Cool.
It was actually algebra.
She-
But whatever.
Oh, hell no.
No. We're both terrible at math.
No.
I won't make that mistake. But we sat upstairs, and Rocky was a wealth of knowledge on all things Caribbean rum, and Kerry is a wealth of knowledge on all things world history. And the two of them bouncing back and forth, talking about, in this year this was happening, and Kerry's like, well, that was also happening in this year in Europe and England, and then he's like, well, then this was happening. She's like, that's because of this and this and this. And I sat back just drinking Stiggins like a idiot.
This is the best
was
episode
gonna
of
use-
Nova I've ever seen.
I was going to use the hard R word, but I just sat back drinking rum like, okay, keep talking. This is amazing.
I also forgot my notebook.
But it was such a magical night.
Yeah.
For so long, we sat there just like hanging out, drinking, and talking about history of the world, history of rum. And I didn't realize that was going to be the last time I ever saw him.
Oh.
So when he passed away, he was younger than me, but it was a really sad.
Wow.
It was a really sad thing. He lived a charmed life. He was a good guy. So it was wonderful. I didn't mean to bring the whole thing down, but we were talking about plantation, Plantaray, and all of that.
Well,
Anyways.
So this has been a great episode. Thanks everybody for listening.
hope the coconut man doesn't come to visit you in the night.
No coconut boogeyman.
No.
But if you need weed, bring a
There's
snorkel.
some-
Bring a snorkel.
Well, and
Scuba diving equipment.
and a heavy rock because you're going to need some ballast to get down that deep.
Yeah.
You're gonna have some kid with a garden hose just like,
Oh, that would work.
yeah. We're not doing that.
No.
Garden hose and
And the freaking Gilligan party boat thing that floats by here every
the
so
Jungle
often?
Queen.
The Jungle Queen.
The Jungle
yeah.
Queen has been. Oh my God, Scott, look this up. The Jungle Queen originated like 80 years ago.
What?
Yeah, something. Hold on, I gotta look this up.
Does
Hold on. For those people at home, it's a giant 3-decker massive like tour
Paddle
like a
boat. yeah.
paddle boat thing.
But does it have a paddle? I didn't see a paddle.
No, no, that one doesn't. They have another one called the Jungle.
No, it's not
Queen
called Jungle
2.0.
Queen.
No,
No,
it's-
it's called something else.
Anyways, they have they have smaller capacity boats.
So-
it basically
so-
looks like the Mark Twain
Yeah.
at
Yeah,
Disneyland
yeah.
or the what's the one called at Walt Disney World?
I thought the one at Walt Disney
It
World
was
was
like-
Mark Twain. I think they're both Mark Twain.
I think,
could be
yeah.
No,
wrong.
it's definitely not.
It's not?
100%
Oh, I don't
not.
know.
Mark Twain 2.0.
Sure. I mean, it's a paddle boat. Oh,
It's
Liberty
a-
Bell. It's the Liberty,
Liberty
Bell.
Bell,
It's
yeah.
the Liberty
Thank
Bell.
you.
That's what C said.
Since 1935.
So what are some of the ways that you fuck with the nice people on the boat as they float past your
Well,
home?
If anybody knows what I look like, I look like I'm a big guy, and if anybody knows what Scott looks like, he is a tall, skinny guy. So we can pass as Gilligan and Skipper pretty easily. So I have a full Skipper outfit, and Scott has a full Gilligan outfit, and we will go out and wave at the boat as Gilligan and the Skipper.
Do you take your hat off and smack him in the top?
No, Scott. Or I put Scott in a headlock and I give him like, kind of like,
So today when you went out and waved at him,
So I went to go wave out at the boat as it went by at 6:30 today, and it was like they're close enough to where like they can hear you talk. Like it's right.
you could be like, "Hey, Steve,"
Yeah, it's
what's
right
your
off the
thing?
dock. You know, they come in really super close, and I was just waving like an idiot. And Greg came out and threw his arm around me like he was gonna murder me, and then just started like stabbing me in the chest with his hand, and then I immediately went limp, and then he dragged me back inside, and the crowd went wild.
Yeah. So we jokingly we were gonna like get some pillows and some bricks and wrap them up in Visqueen and
Well, because
tape.
that was the outbound boat. Like we know they're coming back in a couple hours.
Yeah, 9:30. They come by at 6:30, and they come back at 9:30.
If we had a ditch dug in the backyard, if Jeff would have let us dug a hole in the backyard, and then like, oh, here it comes, and we just roll your body into a hole.
I was even saying that just like I was going to lay on the edge of the dock like I'm dead, and then just have Greg kick me in,
Yeah.
and just like roll me into the water, and I sploosh, and
Yeah, face down, floating.
yeah, it would have been awesome.
grab-
The problem is
grab-
there's a big current here,
Well, you would have gotten a head start on that weed.
and so we forgot about it completely, and we just waved at it as it went by.
Yeah, just now. You all were here when we did that. You could hear that happen just a couple minutes ago.
You're welcome, America.
America, we're global.
Oh, we didn't even try this other rum.
We didn't.
Do we have time to try another rum?
Well, the episode's over.
Is
but
it?
Yeah.
I mean, is this like bonus or like is it shut
We
off?
could just hit stop and then just start recording a whole nother episode and dive into the other bottle.
I have this problem when I go on podcasts or whenever we do one. We just keep talking for hours, and I know it's not conducive to most people.
Or do you want to wrap up and record a two-parter? We've never done a two-parter, have we?
I don't know. Yeah, sure. Let's wrap up and do a two-parter.
Yeah. You guys want to keep telling stories?
Dun dun dun. Stay tuned next time.
Wait, you mean we have nothing better to do than to sit around this table and talk and drink?
Okay. Well, let's wrap it up because we'll do an official wrap-up real fast. So we'll start off by thanking Dave Martin.
DumbAndDavePro.com.
Check us out at our website at rumandnerdy.com. That's rumandnerdy.com.
Social media, we're also at rumandnerdy.
And you can email us, show@rumandnerdy.com. And we love hearing from you guys. So
And if you're ever in the Fort Lauderdale area, please swing by Primo Liquors. Ask for Chris. super amazing. He will help you out with all of your rum and wine needs.
And that is the one on Federal Highway. Or see Benny at the one on Sunrise.
Yeah, seriously, an amazing rum selection, great prices, and Chris is outstanding.
You think that this Primo is impressive? We need to go see the other one.
Yeah.
You
You said the other one had a bar. Like this one had.
The other one will blow your mind.
Yeah, this one, like they were like, "Oh, you want to try that? I have an open bottle over here," and they would just run and grab you samples, and you're like, "This is the best liquor store ever."
Yeah. Right.
Anyway.
Yeah. And then don't forget, Mai Kai opens up sometime this fall. So I don't know that there's a date yet, but
no official date, but we are aiming for October.
Fantastic.
October. Beautiful.
So be ready to go get your drink once that gets done. Other than that, we'll see you in a week, which for us is going to be about 5 minutes. I think I got to pee first.
That sounds good.
And if you want to follow along and get some cool updates, I do post some things every now and then. Go to Typhoon Tommy on Instagram. Yeah, you guys introduced me as Tom at the beginning of this episode.
It's your Tom to me. You're not.
I know, I'm Tom to you. But for the rest of the world,
Tommy, yeah.
I am the illustrious. I'm just kidding. I'm Typhoon
The
Tom.
one, the only.
Typhoon Tommy. Tom Allsmiller. Either one. Follow me on Instagram at Typhoon Tommy, or my beautiful wife, Miss Vivian Tempest. We can even tell jazz stories now, too. That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
On the next episode of Rum and Nerdy.
Stay nerdy, my friends.
Pineapple Princess, he calls me Pineapple Princess all day as he plays ukulele on the hill above the bay. Pineapple Princess, I love you, you're the sweetest girl I've seen. Someday we're gonna marry and you'll be my pineapple queen. I saw a boy on a wahoo isle, floating down the bay on a crocodile. He waved at me and he swam ashore, and I knew he'd be mine forevermore. Pineapple Princess, he calls me Pineapple Princess all day as he plays ukulele on the hill above the bay. Pineapple Princess, I love you, you're the sweetest girl I've seen. Someday we're gonna marry and you'll be my pineapple queen.
Ayo, Tila. What's up? I love your fried rice. I was hoping you could teach me in cheetah.
Yeah, bruh. And we brought some shrimp that I already deveined and peeled up.
First you get a little cut bacon rendered.
Then some garlic and onion and cooked till they tender.
Can we add candy, corn, and goat cheese?
No, man, we're gonna use carrots and snap peas.
Okay, fine. What do we do next?
Put your shrimp in and let it cook for a sec.
Add your egg and your rice and you press it down.
Add your oyster and soy sauce, then you mix it around.
This is looking like the fluffiest rice I've ever seen. I wanna put it all up inside of me.
What was that?
Don't listen to him. Let's plate this dish up so we can dig in.